Ted, last time that we were together, we were discussing what we should do with my dad's old Lincoln Continental Mark V.
Yep,
And
making the plan.
You suggested a sympathetic restoration, which is?
A sympathetic restoration means because the car is so nice, for the most part, the interior especially, preserve as much of what was original to the car when it left the factory and keep it that way, and then fix the stuff that's egregious. The rusty holes, the pitted chrome, maybe, you know. Not only is it generally less expensive, but even if cost were no object, on a car this kind of clean and original, it's my preference, and I think these days that's actually the trend in survivor cars. So that's my take.
So we got a lot of comments. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we're still reading through all of them. Honestly, we're trying to put together a budget to see what we can afford, because in a way, that's really what it's about at some point. And before we can even get to that point, though, we want to make it into a driver, and it's missing a bunch of stuff to make it into a driver. Number one of which is a license plate.
Yeah, it'll need a license plate to drive without Johnny Law looking down your neck. Yeah.
And today in Colorado, to get a license plate, you also need an emissions test.
Yes.
So we're going to do an emissions test on this car, and keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully it'll pass here in the hood so that we can take it over to the DMV and get the...
Yeah, I have my portable gas analyzer, and with this you can tune it up and you can really optimize the way it runs.
Now tell me about, what is this?
Okay, this is my, clearly 1990s era 4-gas exhaust gas analyzer. It is essentially the same. What they call the bench, the mechanism, is the same as the ones that you would see, the state testing machines up until not too many years ago used the same setup. And it measures four different things. It gives you CO2, which is, greenhouse gases, and I'm sorry for all the environmentalists, the higher that number, the better, the more efficient the engine's running. And then regular COs, which will be a measure of the mixture, as in the richness.
Yep.
The hydrocarbons, which it's simply measuring parts per million in unburned fuel coming out the tailpipe. So the hydrocarbon reading, people get confused about rich and lean and all this. Hydrocarbons is the same thing coming out your tailpipe that you put in the gas tank. So if your engine, and especially the ignition system and valves, are in good condition, that number should be very low. COs, you kind of want an ideal, everybody's heard that, 14.7 to 1 air to fuel ratio, your COs give you evidence of that. It does give you an air fuel ratio on here. There's no display on it yet because it's still warming up. But, and that air fuel ratio, I think, is just the machine doing math. Anyhow, so this'll once it warms up, it'll tell us, pretty close to what the state machine would tell us. So if it's right on the ragged edge, then it's still emissions test roulette. But usually I can tune them up to where they're blowing flowers out the tailpipe and they still run okay. And I'm guessing that'll be the same for this car, even though it's a little bit outside my pay grade.
You know the numbers? You know the limits?
Yeah. The legal, let's see, if this is a 75, I think to get it past City
78.
Hall. Oh, 78. Yeah. That'll be a little harder. Okay. Yeah. To get it past City Hall, I think we have to have 1.5% on the COs, and I forget if it's 400 parts per million hydrocarbons or less. The other numbers we'll use for our information. Oh good, we have a neighborhood dog. All right, Sparky. Sparky, the mascot dog.
Yeah, as you can tell, this is a very professional and well planned. We have a full team of interns who do nothing but plan these.
Yeah.
You sure that's a sniffer dog?
You have Elvis Presley's car here.
No, we're just trying to restore it. And I promise we won't use your dog to test the CO2 of this vehicle.
Don't worry.
We usually use
He can take
canaries.
anything.
Hopefully it just is already good and I can sign off on it. If not, I have to act like I know something about American carburetors and twirl the right screws and
All right, let's let it
see
warm
who's
up.
home. Now, so far, okay, this CO2 reading, I don't know if this is picking up. When I'm tuning up a car at the shop, CO2, I like to see anything above 10. That is 14, which is stellar. I mean, that is great. Now, the other numbers also showing great. Hydrocarbons, 220, or you know, it's fluctuating, but it's 200 to 300. That is easily passing grade for even a much newer car. And the CO, on a much older car, you'd be happy with a number all the way up to 3.5 in our state.
Yeah.
Big Austin Healey's would rather run at 5, but that's not legal and it doesn't really matter that much anyway. But so far, just sitting here unwarmed up, these numbers are excellent.
Now, just for all of you guys, just so you know, Ted usually works on British cars, so that's why we have the reference.
Yeah.
And in case you're wondering, this is becoming quite the family event because behind the camera is my son, Tommy. Say hello.
Hi.
Hi, and in front of the camera over there is Ted's son.
Yes, yes. Adrian Rand, wave. Yeah, you're a natural boy.
So this is becoming a father-son project for both of us.
Is that good?
So it's good. So does this mean that the engine is in good shape?
Yeah, pretty much. Now, as we've sat here, unfortunately, the numbers are creeping up. We've now, you know, zipped past 5% on the CO, 564 on the hydrocarbons. I don't know if this car is really fully warmed up to where the choke is off, so I'm not panicking yet. I'm panicking a little.
Okay.
But they're not terrible numbers. It's obvious that this engine has the potential to run really clean.
But it might not be clean enough to pass.
Now they can still flunk you for visual smoke no matter what it looks like on this.
Okay.
So if they
there's no
see it
smoke
smoking,
coming
yeah, I don't think there is either. And you know, I'm going to gun it a couple of times, and you know, we'll pull the air cleaner off, and I'll pretend like I know what the idle mixture screw looks like.
All right, gun it a few times.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. We can also test it. The state will test it holding holding the thing at a steady 2,500 RPM or thereabouts. It doesn't matter. For their purposes, they don't care if you pass it or not. It just gives it a chance to clear its throat. In our state, legally, it has to be clean enough for 1 minute at idle, and then the second minute at 2,500 RPM, you get a little print out of what it did, but it doesn't matter. They're not going to flunk you for it. And then the third minute is another idle test, and if you pass either one of those, they really make it pretty easy.
Does it matter what grade of fuel you put into it?
Yes, but it is car dependent. People, you know, a lot of classic car people. This is a whole separate lecture. You know, put premium fuel in your car only if it needs it. You can think of it like rifle ballistics and other things like that. If your compression ratio is not high enough to warrant premium fuel, it will run worse with premium fuel and waste gas. I mean, so octane, just put in it what your car needs at the altitude you're at. And this car probably does not need premium.
No.
I don't know, but you know, won't help. The air as you drive. It's a miracle car.
So when you rev it, it looks like it's cleaning up a lot.
Yeah, and they usually do.
Yeah.
Even the old soot bombs I'm used to running, they always run, most often they run much cleaner when you're revving them than they do at idle. Idle is the toughest one real bad.
So do we want to try to mess with the idle screw, or?
Now I'm going to simulate that second minute.
Okay.
If we were testing for the state right now and I was the tester guy, I just took my foot off the gas. Now it's going through its second minute of idling. there is some lag time between what the tailpipe is putting out and what it shows up on the machine. But by now that lag time should, I mean, this is so clean it makes me think that my tailpipe probe fell out. It's beautiful. Okay, you know, Sparky the cameraman here, Tommy, has pointed out that just in the time that we've been watching the machine as it idles, it's kind of acting like a cranky old British car loading up on a hot day, and the emissions are coming up as it idles. I think it would still make it past a test because all it has to do is make it for a minute. But just to cover our bet, I think we should put a screwdriver in an idle screw, see if we can actually, or a mixer screw, see if we can smooth it out a little bit and clean it up even more. Can't hurt to try it. Okay, so for starters, where are we?
Hydrocarbons are 650. CO2 is about 13.
Just CO, upper right corner.
Oh, 3.4, 3.5. So now it's up to about 3.5, and the hydrocarbons are going down. We're down below 700 now. Yeah, about 750, and the CO's about 345, 3.5.
That's looking less rosy.
Yeah, not good, huh?
Now that said, a lot of times an oil change will actually help clean up the hydrocarbons.
Really?
Yeah, old oil with, you know, fuel contaminated oil can actually affect the readings. So they say.
Let's go change the oil.
Yeah,
Let's go change
can't
it.
hurt. Yeah.
So this is my dad's 1978 Lincoln Continental Mark V, and we're trying to bring it back to life.
Well, it's perfect.
Right? It's sitting for 10 years, it said.
Right.
Well, that was good.
Oil level's good. We always check the oil level before we drop it, just in case after a while we'll start knowing if it's leaking or something like that, you know, or if it's burning oil or anything. Brake fluid's a little bit, tiny bit low. Not even a quarter yet. Look in there, we got a breather right here. It's kind of oily. Usually we take these things out and show them to the customer while, you know. And air filter's not bad at all.
It's pretty new.
Yeah. Here's our power steering fluid. Give an inspection on these kind of belts we can't replace, but we just make sure they're tight. Check them out, you know, make sure they're don't have any rips or anything in them. And it starts running this little test. Got 610 cold cranking amps out of 540. Right there, the voltage is 12.5 on the alternator, which means the alternator is good. Also, you want to be between 12 and 13.
It's a big engine. Ain't no foreign little compact thing.
Oh, no.
Yes, clear start. Excuse me, buddy. The transmission's back here. This dipstick right here.
Power steering tool's not that.
We're looking for it to be right there.
Are we done?
We're awesome.
Before we can get the car's engine tested though, we don't have to do, what's it called in England, MOT?
MOT.
Yeah, we don't have to do an MOT,
Yes.
but we do need wipers because if it rains, it's good to be able to see where you're going. And the guys at the shop tell me these are the right ones, but
They always tell you they're the right ones.
but this has some kind of
They're
funky
never wrong.
blades that I'm not sure I can do. So your first assignment, should you choose to accept it, is to fix the windshield wiper blades. Can you do that?
I was watching Mission Impossible today, you know. If I can open the packaging, I can probably get them on the car.
All right.
Uh-oh, I spoke too soon.
You spoke too soon. Now you're committed. Well, those are those new ones that are like squeegees.
As opposed to those old ones which just evenly smear the mud around the windshield.
And they look like they're the same size, so go for it. See if you can do it. Is that high enough for you, or do you need to go higher?
Neighborhood dogs are going nuts right now. No, that's perfect. Let's
right.
not move them again.
All right.
That was worse than any nails on the blackboard I've ever heard. By some freak of chance, they seem to have sold you the right ones.
Ted, that's why you make the big bucks, huh?
Oh yeah.
Here's the other one.
And I was afraid that I was going to have to get a new career.
All right, check it out. It's beginning to rain. Good thing we changed those wipers, huh? Here we go. Let's see if they work. Oh, yeah. Apparently they don't work. So we have new wipers, but they won't come out. Come on, wipers. Oh, try. You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? The wiper heads are too fat for the top of the hood, so the little wipers can't come out. So those things don't work. You know, that's the thing about restoring old cars. It's always one step forward and two steps back. Here we thought we got new wiper blades, and because they're too tall, they won't pop out from underneath the hood. And I'm learning this as we go along, that everything we do takes a long time and it's pretty painful. So you were saying that your dad passed away. Did he leave you any cars?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
No, but you were going to restore one, right?
Yeah, we were gonna restore 57 Chevy.
Yeah.
We never got to it. I found a 56 Chevy about 5 years ago that I bought that I'm gonna restore with my boy.
Just like me and Tommy here, huh?
Yep.
How old's your son?
Boy, he's 25 now.
Yeah. Does he like cars? Is he a...
Yeah. He's kind of got past the age of being independent now. In fact, he just got married the other day.
Congratulations.
So he's
So don't put it off, or you'll end up with...
that. Yeah, exactly. It's parked in a garage. I've got it in a garage. I keep it under wraps. So
Great. Well, thank you very much for changing the oil on the Mark V here. I think it really needed it. And thanks for changing the fluids and having your guys do such a professional job. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime we can be of help, just give us a call.
As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. See you next time.